Hello, today I want to talk about my Magic the Gathering cube. Specifically, I want to talk about the Gruul color pairing. Originally, Gruul started off as a landfall deck, but I found it boring to reward players for taking one of the most basic actions you can take in Magic, which is playing lands. I realized that Gruul needed a more cohesive identity, and more importantly, I was missing an enchantment-focused color pair in my cube. I needed something to help fix that, balance it out, and figure that Gruul would work well. The Neon Dynasty Commander deck had come out around that time, and so it leans more into a modified theme of auras, equipments, and +1 counters to just modify your creatures. So it's not following the usual Gruul game plan of just ramping into big creatures, but it is using your auras and your equipments to turn any creature into a must-answer threat. Now, we all know that auras can be risky. Getting 2 for 1 is a real threat, especially when you've got lots of removal in your cube. So this cube mainly focuses on auras that replace themselves, or can come back from the graveyard. Really inexpensive auras, only cost 1 or 2 mana. Some examples are Sticky Fingers, Demonic Ruckus, and Audacity. These are all small, aggressive auras that can draw you cards, which can help you to avoid the usual risk that comes with aura-based strategies. Rancor and Convenient Target are 2 enchantments which can recur themselves and help to re-trigger your enchantment synergies. Another issue when dealing with deck construction, this one falls into a similar vein as Izzet, where you care about instants and sorceries, and so then the question is, well, how do you have enough instants and sorceries while also keeping a high creature count? And the simple solution is creatures with adventures. So you can have it be an instant or a sorcery on the one side, but then also can be played for a creature later. And this one does something similar to where, in order to meet the threshold for auras and equipments, some of the creatures you run also double as auras or equipments. Things like Cory Steelcutter can generate tokens, Rabbit Battery, Lizard Blades, Detective's Phoenix, and Springheart Nantuko help you keep your creature count up while still offering auras and equipment options for your other creatures. This color pairing also has a decent number of payoffs. The faction focuses on creatures which reward you for going tall. Krenko, Tin Streak Kingpin, and Valda, Keeper of the Flame, can flood the board with creatures as you commit more and more auras and equipment onto them. Kodama of the West Tree can provide insane ramp by spreading your auras around to as many creatures as you can. And 6 can help you recast any auras which are lost or discarded. Embercleave needs no introduction. It's an iconic equipment that can win games and really fits the archetype theme perfectly. There are a couple of signpost cards for this archetype. Chishiro, the Shattered Blade. Every time you play an aura or an equipment, you get a 2/2 Spirit with Menace, and then he starts growing your whole board with counters. This is a card that the whole archetype was built around. And then Stang, Echo Warrior, when he attacks, he makes a token copy of himself and all of his attached auras and equipment. This can get out of hand really quickly, especially with recursive or death-triggered auras like Demonic Ruckus or Sticky Fingers. The goal of this deck is simple but powerful. You build up 1 or 2 creatures, suit them up, and start generating value and pressuring turn after turn. Gruul in my cube was originally a 5-color landfall domain deck. It was fine, but it just felt kind of bland. It didn't really excite me or stand out during drafts. The aura version came later, and even though green isn't my strongest color as a cube designer, I keep refining it until I found something I was happy with, and this one definitely feels more unique and fun to play. I've considered moving the aura theme to Selesnya, the green and white, since it naturally supports that strategy with cards like Shram and all that glitters. But if I'm being honest, I like the red and green aura theme more, precisely because it's not the obvious pairing. That's what most of my archetypes involving green become, because I don't really play well with the strengths of green. Typically, going against the grain yields poor results, like with Selesnya Humans or Golgari Lifegain, 2 draft archetypes that I'm looking to revise. But occasionally, an offbeat archetype like Gruul Auras can surprise you, as it surprised me. It's probably my favorite archetype in this cube, which involves green. And so, if I'm going to keep Gruul as the aura archetype, then maybe Selesnya could be the life gain archetype instead of Golgari. White does have better life gain payoffs than black, and without Golgari focused on life gain, it could maybe focus instead on maybe self-mill strategy, where it uses the graveyard as a second hand. Rakdos already has some reanimation synergies, but its main focus is discard. The reanimation is more incidental, so I don't know. I'll have to look into Selesnya and Golgari and see how I can fix them. Ultimately, I want to keep Gruul ores for now because it's fun. It turns the traditional Gruul game plan on its head. Rather than just smash with big creatures, you suit them up and get rewarded with tokens, value, and surprise kills out of nowhere. You're always walking a fine line trying to go tall without getting blown out, but you've got recursion to help you bounce back. The Gruul archetype turns what used to be a risky play, loading up one creature, into a value engine that can scale with the game. It's aggressive, resilient, and packed with synergies. Let me know what kinds of Gruul archetypes you run in your cubes, or if there are any modified synergies you think I'm missing. Until next time, thank you for listening. Bye.